Yo, this is Tony Roughcut, and remember the boat is Sound Radio. I listen to Wicked, your local radio station.
Nubiart, a different perspective on the African world.
International airwaves, conscious music is from the island with special emphasis on the island of Jamaica. Yeah. As I said, the African people who were brought to Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean islands were also easily identified through their different drum styles, playing styles in either their social or religious gatherings. The African people in the Americas could be easily be identified to their roots, to their gospel music, which is the trademark of all Africans. Ja people. Jamaica today continues to sing and songs and play music and lyrics of local concern for the people and to the youths. Yeah. Jamaica. 144 miles long. Jamaica. And 50 miles wide. That is Jamaica. To certain parts. And as we say, ska, 1960, rock, steady, came in 1964, reggae, late 60s, with ska, as we say, with Toots and the Maytals, Scatterlights, Jimmy Cliff, Laurel Aiken, Eric Monty Stitch, Prince Buster, and so on. Rocksteady, Alton Ellis, Ken Booth, John Holt, Leroy Sibils, Eric Donaldson. Brother Jack, I'm Arts. Yes, the roots of the music. Yes. Yes, sister. Remember. Yes. Miss Louise Bennett, Charles Ayat, Count Azzy. Roots music. As I man said, a nation without its culture is like a flock without a shepherd. So don't forget. Jamaican music was always identified through its African drum beats. That's the roots of the music. Bob Marley came and used the Rasta vibration, one drop, and popularize it, and today it's known as hardcore reggae. So listen, this is the rainbow people gathering around ya rainbow throne. So when you come to Jamaica, remember, it's a university of roots rock, Naya Bingi rock, reggae music. Without. So come together, brothers and sisters. Love you. It's Earl Chimney Smith, Sly and Robbie Shakespeare, Brother Jack Hymarts, Conscious Originals. A lot of brothers gave their lives and souls to bring Jamaica's music in all its areas to be internationally known and accepted. So as we say, roots rock reggae, love you. Roots rock reggae, roots rock reggae. Yes, brother Martin Moplana, Ras Daniel, ancient elders. Don't feel no way.
Greetings, one and all. Brother Kubara signing in, and I had to just kick off the show with a tribute to Jamaica. On the show today, we'll be having the roundup of what happened at the BFM Film Festival. I only went to see mostly documentaries this year round, and then I did go to the awards for the short films last night, so I'll be giving feedback on that. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to play one more of the promos, and then I will go into some of the feedback from the Black Film Festival. This track's called Experience, coming from the album Kora Grooves from West Africa, in Fale Kuyate and Dunya Kun. Okay, you get this on the ARC Music. It is due out next week, Thursday. Get yourself a copy. It's a nice mix of the Kora and, you know, bringing it in a more modern style, but, you know, still keeping a nice groove on it. So yeah, get yourself a copy of that, the Kora Grooves from West Africa. It's going to be coming out next week, Thursday.
Jarabi ikatara kanto ikatara kanto Jarabi de Beleman Jarabi de Timini ikatara kanto Jarabi la malomani ikatara kanto ikatara kanto ina masiga ikatara kanto ah Jarabi ikatara de feu
Experience from the album Kora Grooves, and that just put me in the right mood for this, right? The first film that I actually saw, like I say, I saw most of the documentaries, was a film called Walking Backwards, directed by Caroline Deeds, and I actually got to interview her after the film. Very privileged for that. It was a short, well, reasonably short, it was 26 minutes. And it was about the Apollo 11 landings and what it meant to people in Ghana. So it was like giving an African worldview on something. And it's very strange because like in Ghana, at the same time as the Apollo 11 landings, there was an outbreak of conjunctivitis. So conjunctivitis was called Apollo 11 disease. Anybody who had any problems with their eyes, it was said, oh, you've got Apollo 11. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play the interview with Caroline Deeds, and then maybe things that pick up in the interview, I'll give you a bit more feedback on that. But this is Caroline Deeds and myself in conversation. Welcome, Caroline. We've just seen the screening of your film, yeah? Tell us a bit about it.
Well, the film is called Walking Backwards, and it's a story that I wanted to tell. It was my graduation film from the National Film and Television School, and I wanted to make a film that looked at and explored some of the stories my mum had told me as a child. Some of them had stuck in my mind for a long time. And my mother, my aunties and my grandmother, they're often told, you know, funny stories, humorous stories, but they also had a very political edge.
Where do they come from?
My mum is Ghanaian, my grandmother, my family's Ghanaian. I was born in Ghana, but raised in Britain most of my life. So this film, Walking Backwards, is my journey back home after 15 years away to discover what's happened to Ghana since Nkrumah.
Okay, because I mean the way the film was first publicised is like it was looking at how Ghanaians viewed the Apollo 11 landings, and that's what really drew me to come and see it, because it was like, oh, it's like that's like an African perspective on a story, but also like a major news story.
Yeah. I think the story of Apollo 11, as my mother told it, was the story of a disease. And it was how the whole of the world was focused on this fantastic achievement. Mankind's technological advancement had taken us to the moon. And on the other side, you know, in this little country in Africa, people were viewing it with contempt or associating it with an infection. And I saw in that story a kind of humorous take on modernity and development, and that isn't necessarily all good and it isn't necessarily all to be copied and emulated.
It's like a kind of parable.
Yeah.
Where it has lots of different layers of meanings.
Yeah. I mean, I think that there's a lot of that in the traditional storytelling, where the trickster will make fun of the king's ambitions. And I saw in this story that my mum was telling me a kind of mockery of the West in a way, but also it was a way of looking at technological advancements from the point of view of people in Ghana who, a lot of them weren't seeing the benefits of this achievement or this advancement.
So when you went to Ghana, I mean, how easy did you find it to get the people you wanted to interview to help you?
It was pretty easy, I think, mainly because, although I was born in Ghana, I've grown up here, so I'm seen as a British when I go back there. But because when I went out there with my camera, I contacted people from the film school in Ghana, and eventually, found a good crew that I could work with, a Ghanaian crew, and that helped a lot because we spoke 5 languages between 3 or 4 of us, and that helped to get around because we travelled through the coast of Ghana and into Togo as well. So it was good. Yeah, I had to learn a few lessons though.
Because how long did the film take to make?
Shooting time was a month, yeah.
Editing time?
Editing time was about 6 weeks. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I had an editor. I came back with the rushes and had an editor in London at the film school called Luke Quinn, and so...
Okay, and what do you hope to do with the film now?
Actually, the film went to the Milan International African, Asian and Latin American Film Festival, and it won an award there, which was very good, and that was in March 2004. It's played in Zanzibar Film Festival, and I'm hoping to show it in Ghana and South Africa. And I really just want the film to earn me some money to make the next one.
Okay, I noticed as well the film was, it was about like modernity, science and technology, but it also had that story like the slavery, the doors of no return, and also the title. Explain why you picked the title, because I think that it sums everything up as well about your journey and the journey that other people have made. The
title, Walking Backwards, also came from a story that my mum told me when she talked to me about slavery. She told me about this resistance strategy that the Ewe people used, where they escaped by running backwards, and they were taught to run backwards. So when they were finally caught and their footsteps were traced, they would be chased in the wrong direction, giving them more time to run away. And I just saw this as a metaphor for the idea of progress is sometimes to go backwards, or maybe the puzzle is running forwards isn't always progress. So that's what attracted me about that story. And so when I went to Cape Coast and visited the slave forts, I remembered the story that Mum had told me, and I just thought it fitted really well with looking at modernity and technological advancements. So, yeah. Okay. Anyway, I wish you all the best. Yeah. And is the film going to be shown anywhere else in Britain? Hopefully it's going to be, I think it's the High Wycombe Film Festival, but I'm not quite sure of the title. But it's going to be shown hopefully in High Wycombe. Okay, I wish you all the best, right? And thanks a lot. And the film definitely good. Well received by everybody as well. Thank you very much. Okay. Thanks a lot. Bye. Bye.
was the sounds of Fanga, and that was track 11 of the album Africalyptic. The track is called Dande Frene. Okay, and I've just been joined in the studio by Adrian Browne, and last night Adrian won 2 awards for the best screenplay and the best film at the Short Film Awards for the film Step Up, Jus Gaps. So very, very privileged to have him come in the studio and just, give us a quick rundown on, what happened last night.
Well, I'm privileged to be here. Thanks for having me.
I remember meeting you once 7 years ago or something. I was counting it back today.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I found the card you gave me then. It just said Adrian Browne, filmmaker.
Yeah? Okay, all right.
Yeah, you remember it? Just a little card.
It's probably one of my homemade cards.
Yeah.
Or got it from one of those machines that you get in the shopping mall.
Yeah, yeah. So, it's really good to see, because all the time I hear your name, I see that you were doing your own festivals and
that's right,
everything like that. And, That's
right. I got into short film festivals. Basically, I used to run an organisation called AB Films that basically specialised in showcasing short films by young black filmmakers. And that show was a success. It was very successful. I was pleased with the results and the response from people. It was a really cool show. Yeah,
like I say, you've done lots of films. What are some of the other films you've done in the past?
Well, when I met you, I had only made one film. So you were there at the beginning, Kubara. You were there at the start. And that was my very, very first movie, Leaving, that was called. And that was shot in black and white and 16mm, and it was quite grainy, but people seemed to like it and people went for it. On the back of that film, I got funding for another film called Velma's Drink Up, and I shot that one about 2 years later. That was quite well received.
All the time I just see you making films. I think you must be one of the most prolific. I don't know if it's the same one film that keeps going round, but
Well, I just love what I do. I totally love filmmaking and writing in particular. So I'm always doing something like that. I mean, after I did the second film, I got into theatre. I did a play. Did that 2 years running, and that taught me a lot about writing. I'd advise most filmmakers to go into theatre to learn how to write characters and how to actually tell your story using the characters. That's what I learned from theatre. Now that I've finished with theatre, I've taken that into film, that new knowledge that I have.
Okay, so the film that won Best Screenplay and Best Film last night, Step Up, Jus Gaps.
Step Up, Jus Gaps.
Yeah, I mean, what was the inspiration for that?
I wanted to write something funny. I do write comedy. That's what I write. I'd only written comedy for stage up to that point. Yeah, and before that I had written comedy dramas, but not pure comedy. And I wanted to put some comedy on film, and I met a guy who wanted to do the same. He was a producer, and we did it.
Okay, and it had Tameka in it. From the 3 Non-Blondes.
Yeah, the fantastic Tameka Empson. She's amazing. She is a performer. 3 Non-Blondes, I'm so pleased for her that show's doing well. And everybody know who she is now. I'm so happy for that. I just want to see her do even more than that and show, because I know her as an actress, and I just want her to show as much of that ability as possible, because I know I've seen her do things, and obviously you've seen what she's done in my movie, and I want people to see that on an even wider scale.
So how long did the film take to make?
That's a good question, that is, because I shot it quite a while ago, but the production ran out of money. But actual shooting time took a couple of months. That's only one segment. Basically, there are 3 step-ups.
Because I noticed there was a start of it that was a little bit, and then it went into more her character.
That's correct. Because the guys, it starts off with 3 guys in a barbershop. In the other episodes that I've done, or step-episodes as I call them, those guys figure a lot more. You see more of their character. But that particular episode was dedicated to Tameka's character, but the other episodes are dedicated to other characters. Some of the other characters are really good. There's a guy called Andrew Fraser. he plays a character called Fenton. And Fenton has just got a logic of his own. One of these characters that has the solution, a bit like, say, Baldrick or Trigger from Only Fools and Horses. That type of character always has a solution, but never has the solution. Basically, so.
Yeah, I think one thing about your characters is like we all know people like that.
Well, I'm trying to keep it real, trying to keep it real and funny at the same time, which is difficult because sometimes when you're writing a script, you're trying to keep it real, and you've gone 5 pages and there's no jokes because you're trying to keep it as realistic as possible. But then at some point you realize you're writing a comedy, and then you have to review what you've done and realize that this thing has to be funny as well. Yeah,
but it's always getting that balance. Some people have said to me, stay away from comedy because like comedy can trivialize, like comedy can look like it's trivializing an issue.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's about getting kind of tone right.
That's correct. I mean, I haven't really done issue-based comedy. When I deal with issues, I use drama to do that. Like my movie number 103 is a straight drama.
Okay, I saw the very, very start of it last night.
Oh yeah. That was a little mishap there by the organisers, but these things do happen. It's funny because people were teased. Because people spoke to me afterwards and said, I wanted to see the rest of that movie, but they played the wrong movie by mistake. I don't even know if I should be saying that over the airways, but number 103 is a straight drama, and at the moment when I want to tackle an issue, I use drama to do it. When I do comedy, at the moment, it's purely to entertain. One day I might use comedy to get a message across, but at the moment, it's purely to entertain. It makes people laugh.
So have you got like a core production team around you now?
I've been quite fortunate, actually, because I've built up some nice little contacts and people that I like working with. My cinematographer, Colin Johnson, I work so well with that guy. In terms of the cast as well, there's a guy called Chris Dennett, who, I don't know if you remember at the beginning of the movie when Tameka comes in and she's talking and about the interview and Malvin off, there's a guy with plaits that she's talking to called Shakes.
Yeah.
He's played by a guy called Chris Dennett. And I've used him in my last 2 movies, so I think I must like that guy. He's so talented. He's not even a professional actor. He's just one of these people that can just do it. And I always cast people like that in my movies, along with the professionals. I like to mix it up because that just helps to keep your movie real.
Just as you say it now, I'm thinking, right, the postman was in the 2 films, right? Because he was in the barber shop and he ran out the barber shop when she started talking about...
That's right, yeah.
Right, okay.
But he wasn't in...
Was that not the same postman?
No. But, same clothes, same uniform. Okay. Yeah, from my little props bag. Right. But different actors. Right, different actors. Colin said to me one time when we started shooting this movie. Colin said to me, "Are you gonna have a postman in every movie or what?"
Because you can do that, right?
That's just the way it worked out.
Because, that's how some people just have, in every single movie they make, like, Alfred Hitchcock always had a picture of himself.
Yeah, or himself in the movie.
In every single movie, and it didn't matter if his part was only like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
There was always him in there.
Yeah, well, I haven't really got a signature yet, I don't think. I mean, I have appeared in my movies, and I do act occasionally, but not in every single movie, but I don't have a signature yet, but maybe I should develop one.
The postman, always have
the postman. That's a good... I think I might keep that. The postman in every movie, even in outer space. I'll put the postman in the movie. Yeah. Coming into the moon to deliver letters.
You never know, right? Stranger things have been commissioned.
You're right. Do you know what? I'll probably take that to certain companies and they say, we love it. Bring the postman to the Oh, man.
Yeah. So, now that you've got the awards, just tell us because I know you won the awards, but you won certain packages and certain training as well. So what was that?
Yeah, I got some nice prizes, didn't I? I got, what did I get? I got some software for my PC, and that was Final Draft, very good writing software, and I've never used writing software before, and I know people that have it and tell me it's fantastic. I always use like Microsoft Word and things like that. So
Just cut and cut
cut
and paste.
and paste, and and then realize that I've messed up the whole thing, and I have to go through the whole script from beginning to end and all that. Yeah. But now I've got this new fantastic package.
New toy.
Yeah, I don't have to go through all that hassle anymore. It does it all for you. It doesn't write the script for you though. You still have to think. You still have to make up your own stories.
But it's got like structure, so
It just structures it for you. And I got some nice little prizes. I got some free editing time at a Central London studio, which is nice. So that saved me a lot of money. And and I got some nice T-shirts and a nice little certificate to put on my wall.
So you got two.
Two what?
The certificates?
No, just one certificate for best film. That was for best film.
Right.
And the
statue.
For best writer, I got the software.
Okay.
I was really chuffed about the Screenplay Award because I've worked really hard on my writing. And when filmmakers come up to me and say, what advice would you give to a filmmaker, up-and-coming filmmaker, I would just say, learn to write properly. Because once you've got a good script, you can shoot your movie on VHS, an old VHS camera, and people will love it still. If the script is tight, people will still love it. Make sure you write a good script and people will pay attention.
Okay, so what's next for you?
Well, I'm just promoting these movies and getting people to see them. I think people should see them because they're enjoyable. So I'm just promoting those at the moment and developing some new stories, some bigger stories.
Yeah, if people want to get in touch with you, you got details?
Yeah, they can email me. abfilms.com. That's my website. I've just sort of started that one up. So it's very simple at the moment, but it's at least a point of contact.
Okay, so they can just go check out your website and then
check out my website, and then they can email me through that website. Basically, the main purpose of the website is to update people on where my films are being screened. So if you want to know, it still needs updating because I've got a screening coming up on October the 3rd at the ICA. That won't be on the website yet, but I want to try and get that up in the next few days or so.
Okay. Yeah, before we go, I have to let you do the thank yous for all the people who helped you out.
Yeah, I love doing thank yous. How long have we got?
2 minutes.
2 minutes to do thank yous. Okay, right. For Step Up, this is the movie that won the awards. I've got my cameraman, Colin Johnson, very talented cinematographer. I've got Tony Clark, the producer. I've got Tameka, who was fantastic. And the cast was, I thought all the cast were great, really realistic acting. Jimmy Akimbola, Chris Dennett, Andrew Fraser, Melanie Beckley, Liz Mance, David Jesse, Verena Glanville, Jennifer Johnson, Roger Pellew, Aaron Brown, Shirley Benham, all the cast. See, I just named the whole cast. Aren't you impressed? Yeah. And I remembered all their names. That's fantastic. Okay. I'm pleased with myself.
Okay, because I know I don't want people to come back and say, oh, you mentioned everybody else and you never mentioned me.
Well, actually, I've got one more person to mention. My cousin, Marcus Messiah. I have to mention my cousin, Marcus Messiah. He's only 18 and a half, or is he 19? But he came down to support me, and he hasn't been in this country too long, and he came down and he supported my movie. So thank you, Marcus, for that. I really appreciate that.
Okay, and your mum as well.
Well, I was just about to say that. That made me look bad now. I would never leave my mum out. That was the next one on the list. Thank you, Mum.
Okay. So, Adrian Browne, the winner of the Best Screenplay and Best Film for Step Up, Jus Gaps at the 6th BFM Film Festival. Yeah, thanks for coming into Nubiart. Yeah, definitely going to be seeing more of you. Definitely.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. All right. Just before I go, I'm just going to run down some of the other films that I did see. The Agronomist, directed by Jonathan Demme. The music was by Wycliffe Jean. And that was the story of a campaigning Haitian radio station owner and journalist, Jean-El Dominique, who was murdered by opponents of free speech and democracy in April 2000. Excellent film. That was a feature film. Rebel in the Soul, directed by Marie-Frances Theodore. And that was based on the true story of an artist who makes a sculpture in honour of a woman who was lynched in 1915 and her husband was murdered. The Healing Passage by S. Pearl Sharp, who was actually meant to come in the country and wasn't able to make it. That film was about healing the effects of slavery in the Middle Passage. That had Yusuf Benjo-Cannon in it. I was so pleased to see Babatunde Olatunji in it, the master drummer. That just brought a smile to my face. And before his name even came up, I was like, that's Babatunde. You know? So yeah, so he was in it. Oscar Brown Jr., very good poet, a doll maker, Angela Briggs, because a lot of the healing was based around taking a doll and how you relate to the doll and putting all your feelings, relating it through the doll and dressing the doll and what you wanted to achieve through going through the healing passage through using the doll. So Angela Briggs was like the doll maker. Yesai Barnwell from Sweet Honey and the Rock was in that. Haile Garima was in that. Haile Garima, who made Sankofa and Adawa, two of the greatest films ever made. Chester Higgins was in that film. Brother Yusuf. The man called Boubacar Joseph Ndiaye. This man is the historian and the curator of Maison de Calves at Gorée Island in Senegal. And I'm going to play one tune and then I'm going to come back and just finish off.
Williams comes an original Rainbow Country production, see? Radical, alongside Cooperan. Yeah, 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 yeah. More power, every time I buck, radical and more power. Up in my head, all ideas start flower. Drop out of my mouth, man, the lyrics them a shower. Pan me silly, girl I ring me every hour. Sandra I request me nuclear power. Sophie I request me solar power. Marcy I request me bionic power. All of the girls on the bar. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Unity is strength and strength that a power, set power. That is Pan-African power. Like Malcolm X it come with the power. Martin Luther King it come with the power. Like Nation of Islam and Black Panther. 5 black, 10 black, like Marcus Mosiah. More black pound and we want more black dollar. More black business, well that time more power. Organize and centralize and energize more power. Rise up, revolution power. Join up, link up and network black power. Melanin in our skin, absorb solar power.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Whoa. Power. Everywhere we go, me I tell them about the power. Come make me tell you about the positive powers. Then we knock down all negative powers. Then your creative powers. Come make me tell you about the positive power. That will knock down all negative powers. Then we can bring forth creative power. With unity, then we can keep the power. With a lot of love, we can increase the power. Then we can turn it in a global power. Equal for that a universal power. Then we can bring forth the cosmic power.
Okay, underneath me, more power from Radical and Gripper. And I'm just going to run down a couple more of the films. Douglas, which was about a Kenyan man who liked watching American films. Bia, A Black Woman Speaks, which was directed by Lisa Gay Hamilton. And this is about Bia Roberts, who won 3 Emmys. She was Sidney Poitier's mother, and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. She was in The Heat of the Night and Beloved. And she was acclaimed poet, political activist, friend of Paul Robeson, and considered the best actress of her time, who always spoke her mind. So that was a very, very good film. And in the shorts last night, I did vote for Adrian's film as well, but I voted twice. Yeah, so I voted for Step Up, but I also voted for The Greatest Escape, and that was the story of a black soldier held by the Nazis. The white inmates, right? They dig a hole. It's based on that Great Escape with Steve McQueen. They dig a tunnel, and they've got the dirt down their trouser legs and they let it out and everything. But when it comes to escape, the 3 white men won't let the black man come with them. So they go on the tunnel and they get caught, and the black man decides that he's going to make his own escape. So he puts on the commandant's uniform and hat and just walks out the front gate. And I like that film. My only complaint is that sometimes when films have subtitles, the white subtitles are on the white background and it's like it's not easy to read. But you know what I mean? I like the film. You get used to seeing, it's a black film, so it's going to be urban, or it's a black film, or it's going to be slavery. And this was like just a different topic. So, I have to respect the director for at least going and doing that. Anyway, I am out of here, yeah? Okay, then Foreplay crew going to take you over straight after me. You can catch me back same time, same place next week. Want to thank Adrian Browne for coming in. Want to thank everybody at the BFM, especially Joy, Menelik, all the staff there. And yep, I will catch you back next week, right here on Nubiart. Yeah, don't forget, you can always check out information about what's coming up on Nubiart on the Sound Radio website. Anyway, I'm gone, and the Foreplay crew will take you up straight after me. Nubiart, a different perspective on the African world.